Republican members of Congress are blasting the White House for all the Obamacare delays. Senator Mike Lee insisting the employer mandate delay protects fat cat big business owners, but leaves American families to bear the burden. So what is Senator Lee's plan for that? Senator Lee, author of the book Why John Roberts Was Wrong About Health Care, joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Did I correctly quote you about fat cats?
Yes, the president's corporate cronies are getting a break, while hardworking Americans are going to be required to comply with the individual mandate. This isn't fair. The president doesn't have the authority, as you know, to rewrite the law after Congress has passed it. The president said he's not ready to implement the law. If he's not ready to implement it, we shouldn't fund it. The American people shouldn't be required to pay for what they're not getting, and so we need to defund the implementation of Obamacare.
Is he not? Is it not ready for 2014? When it's January 2014 is when it's supposed to happen. This employer mandate. Is it because they just couldn't get their act together and sort of the inefficiencies of government, or it's too big and complicated, or is it, as some think, is that it's a political ploy because there are U.S. senators and Democratic Party up for re-election in midterms, and it's to get it past that midterm election, January 2015? Which is it, or is it both?
I think the political considerations are definitely a dominant force here. I also think the sheer complexity of the law has made it impossible for the president to get this thing together. It is so complex. It's a 2,700-page bill. That's
before the 20,000 regulations. That's just for starters. The 2,700-page bill now seems simple.
Precisely. But at the end of the day, I think it might be some of both. But the important thing to remember is that if he's not ready to implement it, he shouldn't be implementing part of it. He shouldn't be implementing it in a way that benefits his corporate cronies while throwing hardworking Americans into this
Those so-called corporate cronies are also Republican business owners who have been pounded on the White House door saying this is too complicated, we can't do this. So those corporate cronies are also big Republican business people.
Well, call them whatever you want.
Well, you call them corporate cronies.
The point is that they shouldn't be given a pass while individuals are told you have to apply. You have to comply with the mandate.
All right, let me ask you about this letter that was written by the Speaker of the House. Have you seen this? Speaker Boehner has written a letter to President Obama dated today, and he's asking for the president to provide Congress's justification for only delaying the enforcement of the employer mandate, which is what you say, and not the new mandate on individuals and families. And in addition, he wants the president to provide the Speaker a complete list of all other provisions in the law that he expects to delay prior to October 1st, 2013. What do you think the odds are? It's also signed by a lot of people, including Majority Leader Cantor. What are the odds that the president is going to respond to this?
I think the odds are pretty low. This president has not been very forthcoming in telling us exactly what his plans are. He made two separate announcements last week, one early in the week, another on Friday.
Explaining. But we all know when it's on Friday night, we know it's just a document dunk to sort of hide it over the weekend from the media. But this was squashed between the 4th of July and the weekend.
That's right. And for all we know, there are more announcements to come about other provisions of the law that he's not going to be implementing. The point is, no Republican in Congress, no member of Congress from either House or either political party has any business voting to fund the operations of government if that funding package includes Obamacare funding. The American people aren't getting Obamacare implementation. They shouldn't be required to pay for it.
Well, it's sort of interesting, the concept of amending it by only doing partial implementation. I hadn't thought about it, but I suppose that happens all the time with bills, doesn't it?
Well, you know, not quite like this. Not where you have a cohesive whole of a piece of legislation with a whole lot of deadlines that are coordinated. You've got a whole lot of provisions that are set to kick in on January 1st, 2014. And what he's saying is, I'm going to implement some of them, but not others.
But big business, no.
That's right.
Anyway, Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Coming up.